Whatever you think you need to do, and this is not just your goals, like whatever actions you think you have to take, multiply it by 10 because it's going to take 10 times that to get it done. Like if you're 10 times is the principle. All right. So be a maniac in your career and life. Like this is where, like if you choose be obsessed or be average, this is where he really talks about this concept. But be a maniac. Don't trust your talent, trust your effort. Go all in every day, all the time. And if you're going to get things out of your business, you have to outwork everyone, right? So you got to be willing to do that. But you got to be excited about it, right? That's what we talked all about, all the motivation, the excited, the purpose. Now you got to dig in and you got to do the work and be a maniac. And you got to do whatever it takes. Whatever it takes. So if you're thinking about stopping it, that's why I'm just cold calling, right? Because I was like, yeah, okay, big 10X lady. If you're doing whatever it takes, then why aren't you cold calling, right? This is a conversation I have with myself in the mirror or with the dogs, right? Right? So then I got myself out and I said, I'm going to do it. I'm just going to do it, right? You got to be a maniac. You got to be a maniac at it. All right. And then do a little more than the day before. Again, for the martial artists in the room, we already know this, right? But stretch it. If you did 5 calls yesterday, can you do 6? If I stopped 10 places yesterday, can I stop 12? If I had 5 appointments with people, can I do 7? Right? That's what, and every day try and do a little bit more. So Katie, like you gave out five of those things. Can I give out 6? Right? Like those that we're doing just a little bit more than we did before. And then you'll get motivated. You'll get easier. It'll be easier and easier to do. Do so much that you're criticized for. This sounds like, oh, stop working so hard. When are you going to take a break? Why don't you ever stop? Like that's how hard we should be going. We should be going that everyone's telling us to stop or slow down or quit. Okay? Take everything you do to another level. Again, I know, blah, blah, martial arts, blah, blah, totally my life. But it's because it teaches you these lessons, right? Every time you go, you get to a 1st degree black belt. That's not the end. There's 2nd. That's not the end. There's 3rd. That's not the end. There's 4th. At every level, there's a whole nother level that you have to get to. And not just in your mindset, but in your body, and then what the expectations are in the martial arts community for that. So you got to take everything to the next level. So how can you take your career to another level? How can you take this and disrupt the industry like Matt was talking about? How can you look at the opportunities and create something brand new? And for me, it's this. It's we were on a mastermind. I was at a mastermind, a 2-day event, and one of the gentlemen that's been in the industry for a long time talked about how his school was integral in starting the mat chats that most martial arts schools do. And I asked him, well, where do you see the opportunity now? And he said, leadership training for adults. Boom! Leadership training for adults right here, right? So take it and disrupt the industry. How can you take your skills to another level? What can you do? How can you take your commitment to another level? Take everything everywhere to another level. All right. Stay around the hitters and the winners. Being around the hitters will make you great too. So you want to be around those people that are always striving to achieve more, be more, and do more. Greatness isn't achieved by settling for satisfied. Never compromise your potential to do something significant and be extraordinary. Ever. Ever, ever. Look at how things are possible rather than possible. I always talk to the students about asking how questions and when questions. Never asking what or why questions. What questions or why? Why does this happen to me? What happened here? How can I get this done? When can I get it done? What can I do today to get towards it? Right? Ask yourself the better questions to get the answers that you need. Because we can get stuck in the why and the how and the woe is me and this didn't work and this nobody showed up and blah, blah, blah. Who cares? Right? That just means we need to up our game. Next level, our education. We need the next level, the reason they should show up. We need the next level telling them the value of what we do. Right? So it all goes back to that taking responsibility. All goes back to putting your fingers on yourself. All right. That was a fast one. Your turn. Make a list of people that you admire. Who are the hitters and winners? and pick one and reach out to him or her today. Name one client that you've written off as impossible to land and visualize, what if it was possible? What would you need to do to make it happen? What would you do to make it happen? John, how does that apply to you and what you do?
That's why I started. I don't know.
Because you do government work. But what about the vendors? Like, could you build a better relationship with one of the vendors that you guys support, or with one of the organizations that you support that may not be here on Fort Bragg? Is that a way that you could do that?
No, because, I mean, everything is controlled higher than me. So I can't.
How, though? We're talking about asking, how could you do it? And I know, like, and I struggle with this when it comes to doing the events with Quantinim, because, ranking in the martial arts world is similar to military ranking. So when I go to those events and he puts me in charge, I'm outranked by everyone around me. And they're like, yeah, I'm not doing that. Right. So I struggle with that because they want me to have this great event, but then the people around me that like are screwing it up, I apologize, not screwing up, making different decisions than we all agreed upon, then I can't correct them because they outrank me. Right. So like I struggle with that a lot when it comes to like doing it outside of my school. So I think it would be interesting for you career-wise to think about how to do it. I think that would be one way you could change up the industry to like create relationships that don't exist now, maybe. I don't know how to do it, but that's just kind of what came to it. Anybody else? The list of winners and hitters? Who that would be? I think sometimes we because of social media, we spend too much time thinking outside of our local community too. Like all of that is great, but I think sometimes we miss the opportunities that are right in our backyard. Because when I first started looking at all this and was trying to answer this question, I don't really know. I'm still working on it. Like who the influencers are right here, right now. Not just in martial arts, but just in the community. Like the community, we have such a vast and eclectic community. Like just trying to figure out like who they are and how we could marry our purposes has been something I'm still working on. And if it was possible, when I do figure it out and I do get them to buy into my vision, people will stop saying those negative things about Fayetteville. And then soldiers will be looking forward to coming to Fort Bragg because we will be the place to be stationed, not just because of Fort Bragg. That's kind of how I envision. That's how I answered this question. All right, are you guys done? So give me some answers because we got some time, right, Mr. Hopper? Some of the answers.
Me is adding more personal touch of when somebody comments, not just liking it, like taking the extra step, and also following up with customers who maybe used to buy but don't anymore.
Yeah.
Doing that as well.
Good.
And building the relationship, not just be like, hey, why aren't you buying from me anymore? Be like, hey, haven't seen you in a while. Just wanted to check and make sure you're okay.
Right.
Right. I do that sometimes, but I'm not as consistent as I need to be.
Yeah, I think that I can agree. I fall into the same boat sometimes too, where I do definitely know I want to be more consistent than I am with that because we really do care.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's a drawback because like something else happened that kind of hurt my heart a little bit, and then I'm like, I'm a little scared. I'm a little scared to do that again. All right, who else?
Answer for either one or just for number two?
Anyone, either one.
I think number two is the biggest difficulty is the people who have come in but still don't understand what we're about.
Yeah.
Like they don't understand the value. They don't understand that we're not here just to teach your kid how to punch somebody in the face. Like there's more to it than that.
That's the bonus. Yeah, and that's what really came clear when I started to talk about it in the scope of this is people don't get that we're coaches. That and that was my fault. I'm not educating that it's always been my tool for personal development. Like it's always been that for me.
Not making it evident.
Yeah, so we're not clearly communicating that, which is priceless, right? So now we know that the value of what we do is something we're not doing a good job of getting out. I think probably in the way we're doing our system now, and when you're an intermediate student, I think it comes out more because that's when it gets harder, and they feel it more. So we have to do just a better job at doing it in the beginning, because to make it through to red belt, yeah, the struggle's real. The struggle is real, and so you have to have some coaching. Yeah. All right.
Surprisingly, when I was doing the list, though, people you admire, one of the things I'd like to do, I don't want to make maps forever. I don't want to work for the government. I'd rather be working for myself. But I want to do it so that I can do more outreach. One of the things Grant keeps bringing up in there is have enough money to give it away.
Yeah.
So you're not even worried about it. You
Yeah.
can give it away, spend it on somebody else.
That's what, yeah, get excited about that. Yeah.
So, one of the things, we talked about it here, we did the human trafficking thing. I'd love to be able to work and do something like that, advocate for that.
Yeah.
I was very disappointed in one of the groups that I joined thinking that it would do more. I got an email from them and they're doing like a walkthrough today up at Wake Forest. Like holding up signs and wearing the t-shirts. I'm like, that's all good and great, but
No, it's about
you
educating.
guys probably wouldn't have had any idea what was going on if I didn't say anything. So I'm like, what's the point? You're not really changing anything. So I want to have more impact. But the person who's been doing it, surprisingly, is Ashton Kutcher.
Really?
Could not stand the guy as an actor. Just not my thing. And he had that typecast. But since he stopped acting and done directing, like he spends a lot of time on the floor of Congress talking to them,
All
advocating.
the time.
Like, you're not
Wow.
addressing this. You people aren't doing anything. Here's the numbers. Like working directly with these people who are being taken out of it.
Yeah,
That
and then
was
the biggest, and so the community outreach is something that we all want to do more of. But the biggest lesson from the human trafficking thing is that they don't have to be relocated to be trafficked.
Right.
Yeah.
That is the scariest part of that. It's not like, yes, what happens in the movies is happening, but to be trafficked, cousins, uncles are trafficking them between the hours of 3 and 6 p.m.
Bring them home.
Yeah, because parents aren't home. So those are some things that are very near and dear to our heart, and we're not out in the community enough now, but we will be, right? So very good.
But
All
yeah,
right,
that was crazy to me because that's what he does now. A lot of his time is spent in
sweet.
front of politicians saying, get your crap together and fix it.
Yeah,
So, of all
Next.
people, he's not the one you think would be
we doing that.
Right.
Oh.